Hi there. Today I want to show you how to use watercolor pencils like this and a water brush like this. It already has water inside the tube, so it's very beginner friendly. Let me show you how I use it. Okay, so let's get started here with our first flower. I chose this nice tone of, I guess, pink or deep red or something like that. I'm not sure the name of the colors. This color pencil set does not come with names of these colors, but I think this is a nice color for this cone flower. And I did this drawing a few days ago. There is a video with step by step how to draw these flowers. So if you like to learn more about the drawing process, then you can watch this video. And so as I mentioned, this is very beginner friendly because you have more control of the colors you're laying. You will lay one color at a time, and for now we're using just dry medium, so we don't have to worry about being too much water or messing up with your drawing while you're choosing the colors. You kind of taking an approach of one thing at a time. So if you're not used to the wet medium such as watercolor, this is a good way to get started with watercolor. So as I had mentioned before, this is the tube that I use for activating the pigments with the water. So this brush, this water brush, already has water inside, and you have a lot of control of how much water you're getting into your paper. And speaking about paper, this is a watercolor sketchbook that I'm using in here. So it's the paper is very thick. This paper can hold a lot of water, and it's best if you have watercolor paper. That's what I recommend to use, because if you use other kinds of paper that is just like the mixed media paper or any paper that is just very fine, it's going to be a difficult process. First of all, you can, if the paper is very, very thin, you can shave off pieces of your paper, sometimes even open a hole in it. So you don't want that on your art. So if you're planning on doing watercolor, go ahead and choose a thicker paper. Now, if it's just one of those mixed media papers, some sketchbooks are labeled as mixed media. So these papers are okay for watercolor, but you still might get your page a little bit wrinkled. So in that case, you can press it with iron. You can use the iron, and like you would iron your clothes, you can iron your paper too. But it's just that extra step, and not all of us have the time or the desire to do all that. So I just recommend go ahead and buy a very thick, good quality watercolor paper. It can be a watercolor pad or a sketchbook like this one. So this sketchbook is a little bit pricey. If you don't feel confident to use more expensive supplies when you're still learning, then I recommend to buy a watercolor pad that is just, it's just more affordable, but it's still a good quality. So anyway, I'm choosing the colors here at random. For instance, this calla lily flower. I don't think they come in blue. Usually it's white or variations of pink and red, maybe some yellow, orange, or so. But I'm not sure if they have it, if that one exists in blue. But that is the beauty of art. On your art, you can color things whatever color you prefer, you desire, and it's your art, it's your world. So here I chose the blue color for this calla lily, and that center piece of it should technically be yellow or orange, but I had already shade with ink in black, so it's just stay black, which is another reason to go like pretty wild with the colors that you choose, especially because it's already not the center of the flower is already not the color that it should be if it was supposed to be a realistic drawing. Another thing to consider when you using this type of medium, the pencils, the watercolor pencils, is that it's better to have these pencils very sharp, so you can go into very small areas with a lot of detail and not have to worry about smudging or going off the lines or anything like that. So this is fairly quick process unless you want to get very, very detailed. So for instance, this little flower, this little bell flower in the middle, I didn't give a whole lot of attention to that. Tried to keep it very simple. So, I mean, if you want to make it a lot of variations on your colors, on the tones that you're using, then this type of coloring can take much longer time. But normally, this shouldn't take a whole lot of time. And it's very satisfying to see when you add the color on top of your color pencil. It just brings up that color. It makes it very bright. It activates the pigments, and it makes them very bright, and it's very satisfying to see coming out very smoothly your subject. So right here, for instance, for this tulip, I'm using for the leaves several tones of green, and also even adding some yellows and orange there. I just think it adds a nice contrast there with the green and gives more variations, like saying like that leaf is not very, very perfect. It has some yellows in it. And another benefit of this type of this type of watercolor is the fact that you will blend these colors with the color pencils. As you are layering the colors, you can blend them. So even you can even use white and blend them together. Speaking about white, I always try to leave an area with white, so not colored at all, not using any pigments at all, or using that white pencil just to accentuate the white, because that white in the flower or leaves or whatever will always represent where the light is shining into that subject. So when you're layering your colors with these watercolor pencils, always leave a tiny little space in white, so we know that that is the light. And then the opposite side or the other side of that subject, then you can use darker colors, so will represent uh, the shadows, uh, where there is more shade in your subject. I hope you get to try this drawing, and if you do, um, let me know in the comments how it went. If you thought it was very difficult or if it was easy, if you have any questions, you can use the comment section to let me know if there's anything that you would like more clarification and understanding about the process. Another thing I wanted to let you know, this brand of color pencils, the Faber Castell. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, um, but they are very good quality pencils, and they are a little more expensive. You don't need to use a very expensive watercolor pencils. Just purchase whatever it's doable with your budget. It's not a big difference. I have had other brands of watercolor pencils, and they work just fine. Uh, Even the ones that are more affordable. Just buy whatever you can find in your area or in your country, and whatever is within your budget. You don't need to have anything overly expensive. Also, this set is good because it has several tones of green, it has several tones of red, several tones of yellow, so that helps to have more variations in the colors that you are using. But you really don't need that if you can get creative and just blend some colors together to form the tones that you really want. So anyway, I will leave you now with some music, and you can enjoy the rest of this coloring process, and I will come back soon. enjoyed this watercolor tutorial. I think it's so simple and it came out so beautiful. It's very easy to use the water brush and the watercolor pencils. It's a very good approach for beginners or for somebody who's transitioning from regular color pencils into watercolor. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.